Good day, I am Pastor Sade Gilmore. Let me go here with Ephesians 6:12. This is the NIV version. And it reads, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms." Now we know King James Version reads a little different. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood." But let's go here and talk about that. Now this morning I had made a post saying, imagine if we got back to relying on the power of God and not the power of the doctor. Imagine. Imagine. Because we're running to the doctors and letting them cut on us, trying to solve spiritual issues with tools of flesh. And I'm not saying God is against doctors. For anyone take this word in the wrong way, but I have to give what's to be given. So I'm not going to apologize for this word. I'm going to say it again. We're running to doctors and letting them cut on us, trying to solve spiritual issues with weapons of the flesh. You're only dealing with the flesh. You're not solving the spiritual issue. You're not dealing the spiritual part of it. You're not removing the spirit behind it. You just coating the symptoms. Basically, when you take the pills for it, you just making the spirit behave. You just dealing with the symptoms of the flesh. But you're not addressing the spirit that is operating, that is responsible for what you're trying to treat or what you're trying to get rid of. And let's go here. That's how you can have a person that have dealt with or dealing with cancer and they go have operation to remove it, but then later down the line, it just miraculously reappear. Why is that? Because it was never gone. It never left. You never got rid of it. You just dealt with the flesh. And as the Lord said, you can't fight things of the spirit with weapons of the flesh and expect to get the victory over, said God. And I want the right. And you have people calling themselves believers of God, but they're standing with the God of medicine. You have people who want to speak against eating this, preach against listening to this or that, but they'll be the same people who run to the God of medicine when something happens. It is so strange nowadays to even say out loud that you rely on the power of God. You better not say that out loud. Shh. You better not tell that to the wrong people, or they gonna lock you up mentally. You go to the hospital, you got to be careful what you say, because they're gonna look at you and say you're crazy. And half of those people in there say they believers, but they the ones saying you crazy for believing the way you believe. Oh, God don't do that no more. You crazy. Ask me how I know. Because last year when I was in the UMC hospital, and everything I'm telling you is on record, for 6 whole weeks with severe preeclampsia. Now, I wasn't in tune to the power of God as He has made me to be this year. So, of course, I didn't pray against it. I went along with it. Got up there maybe 2.5 weeks into them treating me with high blood pressure pills, trying to give me this type of pill, IV in my arm. The Lord said, stop taking that medicine. What? He said, stop taking that medicine. But they kept coming, kept offering. I would tell them, no, I'm good. The Lord, so of course, they kept checking my blood pressure. The Lord would tell me how to lay down when they come in. Lay down before da-da-da-da-da. They're going to come in. So of course, I got low blood pressure. Lower blood pressure readings because how the Lord would tell me to lay before they come in. Make a story short, they would try to tell me horrifying stories because they wanted me to deliver with their birthing recommendations dealing with severe preeclampsia, and I'm telling them no, I want to go on 2 extra weeks because that's what the Lord telling me. He said stay the course, carry to the end, which was my original due date. So I'm telling them no, I want to, because they was like March the 14th. God told me, he said no, your due date is March the 28th. Go. He told me to carry to March 28th. So of course when they came in trying to scare me into delivering, then I told them no, I refused it because I had to obey God. And so of course they would come in every morning after then, and even before then, because by then once I refused it, they had put a psychiatrist on me and a social worker, because to them I was crazy. To them, something not right. Are you not hearing the facts that we're telling you? And they made sure the doctors kept repeating that. Can you repeat back to us what you heard? But I kept standing on the word of God. And even with the word the Lord was telling me, he said, you're going to make it to birth. Take the IV out your arm. You will feel better. Because see, they was trying to deal with a spiritual issue with weapons of the flesh. And medicine is a weapon of the flesh. And so make a story short, I would even tell them, well, how the Lord said, by his stripes I am healed. What would I tell them that for? That one of the doctors even tried to recommend me, why don't you just go down to the chapel downstairs and pray? Well, what's wrong? I could pray up here. What's wrong with my beliefs that I already have? See, I could have got up and left at any time from out of that hospital, but it was only because the Lord told me, stay the course. He said, you're going to leave from here with a testimony. My God. See, it wasn't the medicine that kept me, because the Lord had removed me from off the medicine. It was only by God that I was kept. It was only by God that my son was kept, even in the womb, and still being kept, even to this day. My God. And so, make a story short, they had realized they had needed to come with a plan to trick me, to get me down to the first, I think it was the first floor. It was a level, a different floor than the floor I was on, because they had to get me closer to the operation level, because they had already decided in their mind they was going to force me to a C-section. Make a story short, the Lord told me, he said, go, let them watch you for 6 days, because I'm finna show them that your health is in my hand. Make a story short, they did that. Watch me. No medicine, no pills, no nothing. Until they forced me into a C-section. But even after I got cut on, before I went under, the Lord told me, don't let them give you no aspirin. Nothing. Don't you know I walked away not taking that nail pain pill? The Lord kept me from the pain, the severe pain of being cut on. Don't tell me God ain't real. And don't dare tell me I'm crazy, because I choose to rely on the power of God.